Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time, as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. I'm back, my voice is pretty much all the way back, I feel a lot healthier, it feels really good to be making videos again. If there's a custom thumbnail, that probably means I figured out my video editor software, the new stuff I'm going to be using. If not, enjoy me talking at you again, because I'm going to be doing a retro review of Sonic Generations. I recently got Sonic Cross Shadow Generations for the PlayStation 5, and it is a ton of fun. And I want to review them separately because I've started playing Shadow Generations, and it is completely different in a lot of ways to Sonic Generations. It feels like a brand new game. So I'll be doing just a review of Sonic Generations here. I'll mostly be talking about the new version because it is very, very similar to the old version. I maybe might highlight a couple differences here and there, but for the most part, they feel about the same. So I'm going to be treating this one as a retro review since the original game came back out in like 2011 or so. I'm really happy to see Sonic get so much love as of late. We've gotten 3 fantastic movies. The most recent one was out of this world good. I really enjoyed it. We've gotten lots of great Sonic games in terms of Sonic Frontiers. We've got Sonic Mania. I guess that was several years back now, but we've gotten lots of love for the Sonic franchise, and it's really encouraging to see. And seeing Shadow Generations be its own new standalone title, and it's as phenomenal as it is so far at least, it's just really encouraging for the IP going forward. Instead of having it make headlines for like the likes of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, it's good to see Sonic in the spotlight for a good reason at this point. It's also encouraging for the Smash series because I'd love to see Sonic get a rework in the next Smash game. Hopefully he does, because he's boring as heck in Smash as it stands. But with that out of the way, I want to talk about Sonic Generations, what makes it so fantastic. If you're unfamiliar with the concept of Sonic Generations, this time beast tears through reality, messing up all the timelines, and Sonic and classic Sonic both are able to maintain themselves because they're the hero and that's just what they do, and it's their job to go through each of the areas and beat them from Act 1 with classic Sonic and Act 2 with modern Sonic to restore the worlds back to their normal glory. They're all segmented, so you have pieces from like the original game. You've got Green Hill Zone. You've got other places where you have stuff from like Sonic Unleashed. You have other ones from Sonic Colors. So you have this conglomeration of various Sonic games all mished and mashed together to give you a sort of greatest hits type thing with a through-line story. As you restore each area, you'll unlock new characters that have been frozen in time by this time beast. You'll start to piece together what's going on. You'll get the Chaos Emeralds. You'll get these keys to unlock the boss gates so you can fight big bosses. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't played this game before, this is really one of the better Sonic games out there. It has the classic 2D scrolling ones that you absolutely love in a more like 3D style. You have the 2D itself, like you'll be going side scrolling, but you have more of a 3-dimensional like art style itself. But then the modern courses of course feel like any other modern Sonic game. It just borrows from both elements and does so in a really fantastic way. Like I said before, this is kind of a greatest hits thing. Sonic Unleashed isn't most people's favorite Sonic game because of how like tedious some of the gameplay can be. I think it's definitely more of a cult hit now. I think people are appreciating it a lot more, but there are some really fantastic levels from that game that also feature in Sonic Generations. They take the best of the games that maybe didn't do so well and slide them into Sonic Generations really beautifully. Gameplay-wise, this game feels very, very solid from start to finish. I would have loved to see them iron out some of the bugs. In any Sonic game, there's going to be some janky instances where something doesn't work, the track doesn't work a certain way, especially in 3D levels where you go up a wall and then you fly off into like oblivion, even though you're supposed to just land on the next platform and you have no idea why. That happened to me a few times and it was extremely frustrating when it happened, because especially if you're going for all the collectibles and the S ranks. An S rank you have to do with a certain amount of time on each level without dying as well, and so if you're on a really great run and then you die because of some janky thing that wasn't your fault, that can be extremely frustrating. But each character controls pretty well outside of those little hiccups that I had. Classic Sonic does exactly what you expect him to do. He has kind of a slow momentum to start if you just start running. He doesn't jump super high. He has no double jump or no dash jump or anything like that, but you can spin charge to get lots of speed and give you some more jump trajectory if you're trying to bridge a big gap. It's very nice. It feels very fluid. I think classic Sonic controls really well across the board. There were some times where I felt like some of the gaps should have worked, but you just don't ever get enough momentum. The platform's too small for you to get the momentum you need to jump to the next platform. that can be a little frustrating. Some of the secrets were harder to get because your mobility is limited in 2D, but that's neither here nor there. The level design itself was very fantastic, and it feels very much like a Retro Sonic game every time you do the Act 1. Act 2 stuff, Modern Sonic, they did a really good job of getting the best levels that they possibly could and putting them together. I'm not the biggest fan of 3D Sonic games on the whole, even though Sonic Adventure 2 is still my favorite Sonic game of all time. I just see all the cracks, and especially when you're using homing attack or trying to use your boost and trying to do alternate paths, it can just be really hard to control. But they did a very good job of smoothing out things as much as they possibly could. Again, aside from the little hiccups that I had here and there, I think they really did pick the best of both worlds to throw into Sonic Generations, and is preserved in the remaster in a very beautiful way. Once you get through a certain amount of levels, you'll get to a big boss door that you have to get a certain amount of keys to unlock. The only way to unlock them is by doing some little extra challenge runs. They have little gates that you can go through. If you beat a few of them, then you get a key, and once you get enough keys, you unlock the boss fight. Boss fights on the whole were fantastic. I think they're very, very good. The only thing that was frustrating was one of the trophies is tied to getting no damage on the final boss, which was a slog, but otherwise, I think they're very well designed. Again, sometimes a couple of hiccups with technical stuff, especially in the modern Sonic versions of the boss fight, but I think they mostly did a good job of having great music to go with the boss fights and to design them in a way that it doesn't make it very frustrating to play. So I really like that. The mini games were very, very hit or miss. They range from stuff like racing a doppelganger Sonic and just trying to beat a certain amount of time to get the S rank, or beating him just straight up in a race. Or you have other ones where you have like companions from the game. You have like Vector, the alligator who can throw you. He sucks. I hated playing with Vector. He was awful. You like click a button and he starts like a wind up animation. You get like a little trajectory thing. Really hard to control, really hard to get exactly what you want to do. Really easy to kill yourself doing that. Same thing with stuff like Amy. She like hits you with a hammer, then hits you again to launch you up in the air. Some of the companion little mini games sucked. The best times that they did with these little challenge gates is when they remix the level, give you like a tight 1 minute window to do like a puzzle or a maze, slow the game down and do some platforming, make platforming take the front and center. I thought that was really fun. The least exciting one was another flippin' Vector level where he shoots a musical note at you and you have to hit it back at him, and it gets faster and faster, and you have to eventually like hit him so he misses the beat. It is the jankiest, stupidest mini game in the entire game. And because I'm a completionist and I wanted to get all the trophies here, I had to do all of them and get the S rank on all of them, and it sucked. I hated it. So there are several of them that really pull back the experience. But fortunately, if you're just going for completion of this game, like just beating the main story, you don't have to do all the challenge gates. There's an Act 1 and Act 2 for all of them, so you can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to do. But if you're going for full completion, prepare for some really tedious work. The challenges can be really awful. Occasionally, they can be really fantastic, though. So again, hit and miss there. But the overall experience of Sonic Generations is so well done. They did such a great job, again, of marrying the old Sonic levels with the new stuff and doing these fantastic boss fights. There are twists and turns with the story. The characters are really fun. I think they did an awesome job. So if you haven't played Sonic Generations yet, I highly recommend going out and getting this one. You can get it for as low as like $30. I've seen it on sale. I think that's what I ended up buying it for on Black Friday. It's absolutely well worth your time, especially if you are a Sonic fan. I will be giving Sonic Generations a gold rank. I think between the challenges kind of sucking and some of the inconsistencies, I can't in good conscience give it a platinum, but it is one of the best Sonic experiences out there and definitely worth your time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.